The streets of Kathmandu witnessed a spectacle on March 9, 2025. The air was thick with anticipation and a sense of urgency that had been building for months. Thousands of people thronged the city center, their voices a united roar. The sheer number of participants was a testament to the growing unrest and the collective desire for change. This was not a celebration of democracy or a protest against injustice. It was something far more complex and deeply rooted in the nation's history. It was a call for the restoration of the monarchy, a longing for the return of the king. The banners and flags bore symbols of a bygone era, yet the emotions they evoked were very much of the present. The sheer scale of the demonstration sent shockwaves through Nepal's political landscape, forcing everyone to confront a question many thought had been settled. Could the monarchy be making a comeback? The implications of such a movement were profound, touching every aspect of Nepali society. These demonstrations were not isolated incidents. They were part of a larger, more sustained movement that had been gaining momentum over the past few years. They symbolized a growing discontent, a simmering frustration with the current state of Nepali politics. The chants and slogans were not just expressions of anger, but cries for a different kind of leadership. The echoes of Raja Audesh Bachao, King, come back and save the nation, haven't faded from the streets of Kathmandu. These words have become a rallying cry for those who feel left behind by the current political system. This growing chorus of discontent, particularly among the youth, reflects a deeper disillusionment with the political class and the broken promises of the republic. The younger generation, in particular, feels a sense of betrayal and is looking for alternatives. The monarchy, for some, represents a time of stability and national pride, a stark contrast to the current state of affairs. The nostalgia for a more stable past is palpable among the crowds. The return of such sentiments adds another layer of complexity to Nepal's already convoluted political scene. It challenges the very foundation of the republic and raises questions about the future direction of the country. The country, which abolished its 240-year-old monarchy in 2008, is grappling with the challenges of transitioning into a federal republic. The journey has been anything but smooth, marked by numerous setbacks and challenges. The road to democracy has been paved with political instability, corruption scandals, and a failure to deliver on the promises of peace and prosperity. These issues have eroded public trust and fueled the desire for a different kind of governance. The pro-monarchy demonstrations, therefore, are not merely a nostalgic yearning for the past, but a reflection of the deep anxieties about the present and the uncertainties of the future. They are a manifestation of the collective fears and hopes of a nation at a crossroads. The resurgence of pro-monarchy sentiment is a clear indication that Nepal's political transition is far from over. It suggests that the current system has not yet been able to meet the aspirations of its people. It underscores the fragility of the republic and the challenges it faces in meeting the aspirations of its people. The path forward is fraught with difficulties and uncertainties. The question is no longer whether the monarchy is a relic of the past, but whether it has the potential to be a force in the future. This debate is not just about the past, but about the kind of future Nepalists want for themselves and their children. As the country grapples with these fundamental questions, one thing is certain: Nepal is at a crossroads, and the path it chooses will have profound implications for its future. The decisions made in the coming months and years will shape the destiny of this Himalayan nation. The pro-monarchy sentiment, while alarming for some, is not entirely surprising. It has deep roots in the country's history and culture, and for many it represents a longing for a time when life seemed simpler and more predictable. This sentiment has been fueled by a potent cocktail of political instability, economic stagnation, and a series of unfulfilled promises by successive governments. The political landscape in Nepal has been marred by frequent changes in leadership, with no single party able to maintain a stable government for long. This instability has led to a perceived lack of governance, where the needs of the people are often overlooked in the scramble for power. The bureaucracy is seen as inefficient, and public services are frequently disrupted, leaving citizens frustrated and disillusioned. The Nepali people, who had hoped for a better future after the end of the civil war and the abolition of the monarchy, find themselves grappling with new challenges. The promise of peace and prosperity has not materialized for many, and the gap between the rich and the poor continues to widen. The peace dividend, promised after the end of the Maoist insurgency in 2006, remains elusive for many. Former combatants struggle to reintegrate into society, and the scars of the conflict are still visible in many communities. Adding to the frustration is the widespread perception of corruption within the political class. Nepotism and cronyism are rampant, and many feel that the political elite are more interested in enriching themselves than in serving the public. The Nepali Congress, once seen as a harbinger of democracy, has struggled to maintain its image as a party of the people. Internal divisions and a lack of clear leadership have weakened its position. Similarly, the communist parties, who promised a revolutionary transformation, are now often viewed as part of the problem rather than the solution. Their promises of radical change have not been fulfilled, and many of their leaders are seen as out of touch with the needs of ordinary citizens. The old political order, with its factionalism, self-serving interests, and failure to address the basic needs of the people, has created a void that the pro-monarchy sentiment is now seeking to fill. This sentiment is not just about nostalgia, it is a reaction to the failures of the current system. The Nepali economy, struggling to recover from the COVID-19 pandemic and global economic headwinds, is adding to the woes. Small businesses have been hit hard, and many families are struggling to make ends meet. Rising inflation has made essential commodities unaffordable for many, forcing people to cut back on basic necessities. The cost of living has skyrocketed, and wages have not kept pace with the increasing prices. Unemployment, particularly among the youth, is a ticking time bomb. Many young people, despite having education and skills, are unable to find jobs that match their qualifications. This has led to a sense of hopelessness and frustration. The inability of successive governments to address these economic anxieties has further eroded public trust in the political system. Protests and demonstrations have become a common sight as people demand accountability and change. The disillusionment with the current political dispensation is palpable. Conversations in cafes and villages alike are filled with a sense of betrayal and disappointment. The hope that accompanied the birth of the Republic has given way to cynicism and a sense of betrayal. Many feel that the promises of a new era have not been kept, and that the sacrifices made during the Civil War were in vain. The pro-monarchy sentiment therefore needs to be understood not as a rejection of democracy, but as a desperate cry for effective governance, stability, and a return to better times. It is a call for a system that can deliver on its promises and provide a sense of security and hope for the future. The question facing Nepal today is whether the Republic can address these deeply felt anxieties, or whether it will continue to hemorrhage legitimacy, paving the way for alternative forms of governance. The future of the nation hangs in the balance as it grapples with these profound challenges. Nepal's political landscape is a complex tapestry, woven with the threads of ambition, ideology, and personal rivalries. This intricate web is not just a recent phenomenon, but has deep historical roots that have shaped the nation's current political climate. The political scene in Nepal is a vivid mosaic of diverse ideologies and ambitions, each thread representing a different faction, a different dream for the country's future. At the heart of this complex tapestry stand three towering figures who have dominated the political arena for decades. KP Sharma Oli, the wily tactician who heads the CPN-UML, is known for his strategic acumen and ability to navigate the turbulent waters of Nepali politics. His leadership style is often described as assertive and uncompromising, traits that have earned him both staunch supporters and fierce critics. Sher Bahadur Deuba, the seasoned politician leading the Nepali Congress, brings a wealth of experience to the table. Having served as Prime Minister multiple times, Deuba is a veteran who understands the intricacies of governance and the art of political negotiation. Pushpa Kamal Dahal, better known as Prachanda, the former Maoist guerrilla leader who now heads the CPN Maoist Center, represents a different facet of Nepali politics. His journey from a revolutionary leader to a mainstream politician is a testament to his adaptability and resilience. These three leaders, each with their own strengths and weaknesses, have dominated Nepali politics for the past 2 decades. Their influence extends beyond their respective parties, shaping the broader political discourse in the country. Ali, known for his populist rhetoric and strongman image, has been a polarizing figure. His tenure as prime minister was marked by political brinkmanship and accusations of authoritarianism, yet he remains a significant force in Nepali politics. His leadership style, often seen as confrontational, has both galvanized his base and alienated his opponents. The controversies surrounding his time in office continue to spark debate and division within the political landscape. Duba, a four-time prime minister, represents the old guard of Nepali politics. He is seen as a shrewd operator, but also criticized for his perceived lack of vision and decisiveness. His long tenure in politics has made him a familiar face, yet his leadership is often questioned for its effectiveness. Despite these criticisms, Duba's experience and deep understanding of the political machinery make him a key player in the ongoing political saga. His ability to navigate complex political terrains has been both a strength and a point of contention. Prachanda, once a fiery revolutionary, has attempted to reinvent himself as a mainstream politician. However, his past as a Maoist leader continues to haunt him, and his commitment to democracy is often questioned. His transformation from a guerrilla leader to a political figure is a narrative of struggle and adaptation. The shadow of his revolutionary past looms large, influencing public perception and political alliances. Prachanda's journey is emblematic of the broader challenges faced by Nepal in reconciling its tumultuous history with its democratic aspirations. The relationship between these three leaders has been one of shifting alliances and bitter rivalries. They have come together and fallen apart multiple times, driven by a complex interplay of personal ambition, political expediency, and ideological differences. Their inability to forge a stable and working relationship has been a major source of political instability in Nepal. The constant power struggles and political maneuverings have paralyzed governance, undermined institutions, and eroded public trust in the political system. As Nepal grapples with the resurgence of pro-monarchy sentiment, the role of these three leaders becomes even more critical. The stakes are higher than ever, and their actions in the coming months will be closely watched by both supporters and critics. The constant power struggles and political maneuverings have paralyzed governance, undermined institutions, and eroded public trust in the political system. The resurgence of pro-monarchy sentiment adds another layer of complexity to an already volatile situation. As Nepal grapples with the resurgence of pro-monarchy sentiment, the role of these three leaders becomes even more critical. Will they rise to the occasion and provide the leadership necessary to steer the country out of this crisis? Or will their personal rivalries and political calculations further exacerbate the situation, pushing Nepal closer to the edge? The answer to this question will determine the fate of Nepal's fragile democracy. The future of Nepal hangs in the balance, and the actions of these leaders will be pivotal in shaping the country's path forward. Their decisions will either pave the way for a more stable and prosperous Nepal, or plunge it deeper into political turmoil. The answer to this question will determine the fate of Nepal's fragile democracy. The world watches as Nepal navigates this critical juncture, hoping for a resolution that will bring lasting peace and stability to this beautiful yet divided nation.